Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. Carrie Hahn and I, of course, are back together. I'm getting to talk to you a lot this month, actually.
I know, isn't this fun? It's like we just saw each other.
We were just on a Zoom screen. Yeah. Literally, I think when we wrapped up that show, we were explaining to people that we were recording it, and then the day after we recorded the show about the CCC, about the Civilian Conservation Corps, we were coming here to record a show that people would hear in a couple of weeks, which is still the case, because they're not going to hear this for 2 more weeks.
Well, that's all right.
But I looked it up.
Yes.
And so we sat in this very room, looked much different than in October of 2022. But we came here, we visited with Krista, we talked a little bit about the winery and the wines and the vineyard. When we wrapped up that show, she told us off air that she was selling. She was looking to sell, but she was holding out for the perfect person.
I remember her saying that. So she was like, I don't want things to change. And she was just very concerned about somebody really loving this place and caring for it in the same way she had done for all of those years.
And sometimes that's hard. When you put stipulations on something the magnitude of a winery, you may have to wait a while before you find that perfect person. And
look,
seems
we are
that
here
she did.
with the perfect person.
So Jill Edlick is joining us. She is the new owner of North Mountain Vineyard and Winery. But Jill, ironically enough, and I was telling you this too, Carrie, before we started. So Jill did the show talking about the Ravenwood Fair in September of 2022 as Justin Kearns' guest, your cohort in crime in Frederick County. And then in October, we were here. So I feel like all these boxes being checked, it's kismet.
I agree. And we are so thrilled in Shenandoah County to have Jill here and have the Ravenwood Fair and have North Mountain Vineyard sort of come back and be North Mountain Vineyard again. It never went away and it's not going anywhere.
I am so excited, Jill, but I'm confused. So give me an explanation of how you ended up here and what is the relationship now between the winery and the Ravenwood Fair. You have a foundation, the Ravenwood Foundation.
Yeah, it started off Ravenwood Foundation. We do the Ravenwood Fair every year. We started it off at the Frederick County Fairgrounds in Clearbrook. And probably maybe about the second or third year in, I started looking for land to see where we could kind of have our permanent home. And many years later.
And I think we talked about that the very first time you did the show, that your hope had always been that the Fairgrounds was adequate, but not ideal. And that's why you were looking for a home. I think we even made a plea at the end of that show. If anybody has any land, please call Jill.
Yes, exactly. The setup, the breakdown at the Fairgrounds, it was rough. It would take at least almost a week sometimes just to get everything set up and then the breakdown. So finding the vineyard, finding the land, first of all, we have 47 acres here.
Wow.
15 under vine. And it's funny, it's like, well, yeah, we found this home for Ravenwood, and wow, yeah, and we have a vineyard. You know, like...
It's like those TV shows that you see that says, honey, I bought a zoo. And there's people are like, I've never run a zoo before, but hey, we're going to give this a shot.
Exactly. And that was kind of like the wake up. I'm like, so I'm a farmer. And a lot of people, they say, so how does it feel to be a farmer now? And I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm a farmer besides owning the winery as well. And then fair is going to be there. Yeah, so it's something else.
What has the learning curve been like from the winery vineyard perspective?
Oh, every day. We're still learning every day, obviously. I mean, we're only the third month here, but it feels like we've done a lot, but we still obviously have a lot to go through.
And you were telling Carrie and I before we got started that you didn't lose your winemaker in the sale. You actually gained your winemaker in the sale.
Yes. Lucky for us, our winemaker has stayed on. It's Krista's son, John Jackson, and he's awesome. And we also have the assistant winemaker, Andrew Bender. The two of them are our winemaking gurus. And we're trying to learn from them too every day, kind of going down in the cellar and saying, so what are you doing now? What is this?
Why is this important?
Yeah, exactly. So it's been awesome, actually. It's just been really great.
So
Yeah.
from the winery perspective, I mentioned this earlier, this room looks substantially different
Yes.
than it did when she and I were sitting here in 2022. I love it. It's clean, it's inviting. You can have large groups of people here
yeah.
or dozens of small groups of people even.
Yeah.
Aside from the land, what
Right.
drew you to closing this deal?
Wine. My love for wine. And in fact, a while back, I was doing a little thing called the Wine Club for Women.
Oh.
And that was around the Frederick County, Winchester area. And actually, we dabbled into the Shenandoah area as well, going from place to place and learning about wine and pairings. And after a while, I loved it, but I Ravenwood started taking more of my time, and I kind of had to decide, which was tough. But I never got rid of that whole thought of maybe one day we could possibly do that again. Yeah, so it's kind of like a full circle, you know? Everything happens for a reason. That's always been one of my things, for sure.
And all of these three entities are separate.
They are.
But they're co-located here on this property. Is that right?
Yes, correct. So the Ravenwood Foundation is now going to rent the space to be able to have the fair here. We are still doing the camp, though, at the Frederick County Fairgrounds. What that looks like in the future, I'd love to have the camp here as well, but we have to see what that looks like.
Jill, can you tell me what the Ravenswood Foundation is and what is the camp that you were referring to?
So Ravenwood Foundation was started back in 2019, same year as the fair, actually. It is to help children ages 12 to 17, but we're finding that it's hard to kind of keep it in that age range because more and more people who want to be involved in like the camp especially. So we're still tweaking that. We did have our first year of camp last year, which was at the Frederick County Fairgrounds. It was a week-long camp, and it's social, life-enriching programs, trying to teach children for that age group outdoor activities more, kind of trying to keep it to archery, and that's kind of where that line kind of goes from the fair to the foundation things that we're doing, because we would like to teach those things from way back then, right?
Okay.
That they kind of still did, which was more focused on outdoor activities, bread making, cooking on an open fire, things like that. So we kind of try to tie it in together in that sense.
Nice. Is it a day camp?
It is a day camp,
Okay.
yeah. Everybody keeps wanting us to do an overnight, and believe me, I would love it. But then you're talking higher insurances and higher,
course.
you know.
Oh, that's true. Well, then you got to have
Yeah.
places
Yeah.
for them to sleep, and there's
Yeah.
just the logistics of it become infinitely more complicated.
It's more complicated, but I'm willing to tackle it. But we need to kind of focus on perfecting and kind of getting the solid ground of the day camp for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but for sure, that's absolutely in our strategic planning at some point.
What has the response been from the parents and from the kids that are participating in these camps?
So far, so good. We had 16 kids last year at the camp, which was good. At first, we were kind of like, oh, we only have 16 kids. But then we were like, no, actually, that was good for our first year, because then we can iron out the kinks and learn what worked, what didn't work. And that's also where we were kind of like, wow, we do have some younger kids that are kind of wanting to be a part of things. So what does that look like, and how, so we're still working through that, And then you have the siblings, right? So we had the 13-year-old sibling that was signed up who had a 10-year-old brother that would have liked to have come, or,
Yeah.
and then we were like, well, why not? And
10, 11, it does.
Yeah.
It gets, those gray areas get really
it
sketchy.
does. And to say no to anyone just absolutely is not easy for us.
Sure.
But we want to make sure, obviously, too, that we're doing everything in the boundaries and what we need to do and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
And I think it's so important, particularly these days when kids in that age range are attached to screens.
Yes.
To be able to have them understand that they can do things outside that are as fun as staring at someone else doing them on a screen.
There you go. Exactly. Right?
And then for the Ravenwood Fair, that is kind of the camps on steroids
Yeah.
to a
so
certain
that is
degree.
our biggest fundraiser of the year is the fair. A lot goes into that. This past year, especially at the fairgrounds, we majorly focused on the kid portion of it. Every year we kept saying to ourselves, okay, what are we going to have there for the kids to make sure that it's a well-rounded fair? So we had a children's area that was robust this year. year, and we were super proud. Every time I looked over in that area, because we had a certain area set up for it, which our camp director and co-chair, Terry and Sophie, they were really focusing on, it was packed. It was just a constant, which was just made us feel great, really.
Well, and parents are looking for events like that that they can enjoy that aren't too much for their kids. Exactly. So adding that kids component really checks a lot of boxes for parents.
Absolutely, for sure.
And then what other kinds of things can us grown-ups enjoy?
Oh, wow. So
the first thing Carrie asked you about was the turkey legs. Are you doing the turkey legs? And I laughed and said, that was my first question to her all those years ago.
Yeah, for sure. Turkey legs, and we try to hit all the different food groups, and also jousting, of course. We have a great group that comes down from New York every year and does a phenomenal job. And then we have our local horse group that comes and does some shows. And then we have all different kinds of shows: fire throwing, breathing, juggling, dog acts, you name it, we have it. Yeah.
Thing that I appreciate too about what you do with the Ravenwood Fair in particular is we've all heard of the Renaissance Fair. The big one in Maryland comes to mind immediately. Right. But you make this fairly local. I mean, you're bringing in vendors that are right here, talent that is right here as much as you can, which I think makes it so much better for those of us that live here in particular to be able to come and enjoy an event like that.
Yes, for sure. And that's kind of what's the exciting part now that we're in Shenandoah County. Now we're going to be touching this area, which is super exciting.
Do you have a date for it?
We do. So October 16th through the 18th. And the 23rd to the 25th, 2 weekends.
All right, so Carrie Hahn, we've already got a September or October guest ready.
There you go.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk wine. Let's get in let's get in the grapes. Let's stomp some grapes and find out how all of that is going to work. Does that make sense?
That sounds great.
Okay, we're going to do all that when we come back. Again, we are recording from North Mountain Vineyard and Winery. We're talking with their new owner, Jill Edlick. It is Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. So my tourism partner in crime, Carrie Hahn, is here with me. We're going to come back and talk more with Jill in just a couple of minutes.
United Way of the Northern Shenandoah Valley is inviting nonprofits to help map the region's nonprofit safety net. If your organization serves Winchester City, Frederick, Clark, Warren, Shenandoah, or Page counties, we encourage you to take our regional nonprofit survey. The information collected will help identify gaps, support collaboration, and inform community leaders and funders. The survey takes about 30 minutes and is available at unitedwaynsv.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Shenandoah County's Tourism Tuesday. Carrie Hahn sitting at the table with me. We are in the tasting room, in the great room at North Mountain Vineyard and Winery, talking with the brand spanking new owner, Jill Edlick. Many of you will remember her from Ravenwood Fair, huge fundraiser that she does every year to raise money for the Ravenwood Foundation that puts on camps for kids to teach them outdoor skills and cool, fun things like that. But Jill, I'm curious about your wine background, because we joked earlier that it was all about the land for you initially, but now that land comes with acres and acres of grapes and a winemaking facility, all of those things. Was that scary to you at all?
A little. I know how to drink wine, right? But to make it, that was a whole different ball of wax, as they say. But yeah, it's been awesome, actually. Really a learning experience every day. Every day I come in here, it's something new.
You were telling Carrie and I that you got to keep the winemaker. So I know sometimes when things like wineries change hands, people who have their favorite wines, like my husband and his Tom's Brook Red, get a little worried or nervous that things are going to change. But you're very lucky in that you've kept your winemaker and your assistant winemaker. So a lot's not going to change in that department.
Correct. So you could tell your husband, rest assured, we've got Tom's Brook Red. And that's definitely not going anywhere. We kept the winemaker and and the assistant winemaker, and they are just absolutely phenomenal. They are just a wealth of knowledge, the both of them, really. We are keeping the wines that Krista had for sure, and just kind of trying out some different blends. So there's different blends that they have done. We kind of want to play around with a few things, and then unblend. That's not a word, really, but some of these grapes I think can kind of stand on their own. And so the winemaker has been phenomenal and very open-minded about trying some new and exciting things. So we're excited for what's to come.
And that was Krista's son. So there's still a piece of her that is here at the winery, which I think is outstanding.
It's great. It's great, yeah.
Can you give me a rundown of the wines that you have currently?
Oh, absolutely. So we've got, I'll tell you our whites first of all. So we've got our Riesling, Oktoberfest. We've got a Virginia apple wine.
That is amazing, by the way. I totally forgot about the apple wine until you just said that. That wine is stellar.
Awesome. We also have a Gruner Veltliner and a Chardonnay, which I'm super excited about. We've got one that's about to be bottled, which my winemaker is very excited about. So I'm excited for that one to come about. And we've got a Zweigelt Rosé. Those are our whites for right now, currently. And then our reds, we have the Zweigelt Red, a Cab Franc, which is actually one of my personal favorites, Petit Verdot. We have a Chambourcin Foster's Reserve, Mountain Midnight, which is like a port-style wine, actually. Yeah.
I'm going to bottle of that before I leave.
Very tasty. Our Tom's Brook Red, of course. Spiced Holiday Wine, which is actually good either cold or warmed up. So the wintertime, we've been selling a lot.
It is so amazing. And you even you can heat it up on the stove.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it is every holiday. I always have some of that during the holidays.
Nice.
But
a lot of people call it glue. It's a traditional glue wine.
Glue
That's
wine,
like
yep.
Yes. And then the final red is called Claret, which we're super excited about. That was actually grandfathered in. We're one of, I only think maybe one other or two other vineyards that can do this. It's a Bordeaux style blend. And we are able to use Claret, that name, for our wine. You're not able to do that anymore.
it became
apparently.
trademarked or something like that.
Kind of like champagne.
Yes.
You can't pour champagne. So so we're very excited about that as well.
When I pulled up, there was a little bit of construction going on, but that's good. That means it's progress. Tell me a little bit about what kind of construction you've got going on and why, what it is that it's going to make way for.
So a few things I felt that were important, one of which was the accessibility. I mean, this place has been here since 1982, so it needed a little bit of love. And I did want to make it accessible to everyone. So we revamped the front. There is a ramp now. There's no more steps, so anyone can come in and out. Right now, currently, there's just gravel, but there's going to be pavers, and it'll look beautiful when it's finally done. Also, we are putting some handicap spots out front in the parking lot area. We've also extended our parking lot area. And then we have a road that's actually going all the way through from Swartz Road to Harrisville Road. And that is put in because we want it to be more accessible for the events, especially Ravenwood. But we also have other events in the process that are going to be happening here. And so that'll be a little easier. And we want to make it easier, of course, on our neighbors and not scare everybody with all the cars going through. And we want to be mindful of that for sure.
One of the things you were telling Carrie and I during the break is that you want to bring back Oktoberfest, which I think I gotta say is pretty brave of you, considering you've got Ravenwood Fair in October as well. But isn't Oktoberfest supposed to be in September?
It is, yeah. But I think we're actually going to keep it again this time in October. I know I probably need my head examined for that one. But everyone around the area, and they've been used to it being in the beginning of October. So we're going to keep it for that as well. and just give it a little more love. Krista still did it every year, even up until she sold, but we're just kind of bumping it up a notch.
Well, the space just lends itself, obviously, because you've purchased it and you're going to do the Ravenwood Fair here. It just lends itself to large events like that. I can't imagine how many requests you'll probably get for weddings, for a lot of those kinds of things once we get out of this winter thaw and people realize that you're here and everything is still up and running.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We actually just had a wedding indoors in here in the great room.
Oh.
2 weekends ago. 35 people in here. Yeah, and we've had some bridal showers already. So that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people realize that we're still here. We're still up and running. In fact, we closed on the 31st, and November 1st I was here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And we wanted to just keep it going. We did not want to close it. So yeah, we're doing some construction. Forgive us for those few little hiccups here and there, but we were keeping it going and we didn't want to miss a beat.
And you're not making wholesale changes. Like we joked earlier about how beautiful this great room looks now. It's very updated. It's very clean. It's easy for people to sit in small groups and play games or have a fire going, those kinds of things. It's not like you gutted anything or are tearing anything down and not replacing it. You are more or less continuing that tradition that Krista hoped you would when she was looking for that buyer so many years ago.
Absolutely. And I think she knew that, and I think that's why it was easier to kind of go through the transition. And she's been back a few times since, and it's been nice to kind of have her there. If anything, expanding our production is kind of what we were kind of thinking of possibly moving forward, expanding our cellar and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
So to that end, what does it look like on a wholesale side? Because it has been difficult for me in the past to find that Tom's Brook red for my husband. So are you looking for new wholesale partners? How does all of that stuff work?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. We have a few people that we are continuing the wholesale with, of course, which we're happy happy that they're trusting in us to continue the good service. And if anybody is interested, we are open for sure.
And then talk to me about hours, tasting times, all of the logistics. So are you open on a regular basis, even now in what I call the dead of winter? But I'm told that spring is coming. I just don't believe them.
That's right. Yeah, you'd be surprised. We open at 11, and sometimes we have people waiting at the front door, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we are open Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 5. We are open though later on some days when we have like special events, that sort of thing. We are already in discussions of opening and extending our hours a bit because I do think that during the warmer months, it's hard for people, especially when you close at 5, for people who work until 5.
Right. And it's daylight longer, so people, I imagine you get some beautiful night skies here.
Oh my gosh.
Or at least sun-setting skies.
Amazing right now. And when I get to see it, I say, oh, I can't wait till we have people here to be able to experience this with us, to share that. It's going to be awesome.
Are you planning, or do you already do things like live music or little events like that here?
We do. Every Saturday we have live music. Yeah. And then we've had some trivia nights. We have a woman that we've paired up with at a local farm, actually, that's doing a homesteading series. So she's had 2 sourdough making events already here. She's going to be doing canning. We have another farm that's doing floral arrangements here. It's really important for us to be working with our local community. Like I said to you earlier, I've realized I'm a farmer now. And so it has opened up my eyes, and meeting other farmers now has been amazing, and kind of getting that whole feel for things. Yeah.
The other thing that I think is going to be of benefit to you, and Carrie and I have had this conversation whenever we talk to any of the other wineries in Shenandoah County, is that they are such a tight-knit group that it's not like Cave Ridge is like, oh no, we're not talking to North Mountain. We're not sharing any of our secrets. That is not how that group is at all. They're willing to help you if you need a part or you have a question about something. And because you're so new yourself to winemaking, they're going to be a huge resource for you, I think.
Open arms. We're a part part of the Shenandoah Valley Wine Trail. And every other month we meet and go to a different winery. And back in December, actually, you mentioned Cave Ridge, which is funny. That's where it
They
was.
have the igloos, so they're always at the
Oh
top
my
of my
gosh,
list when I think
right?
about Shenandoah County wineries.
And it was just, I walked in there and everybody with open arms. It's just, it was an amazing feeling. So yeah, I'm feeling the love for sure.
Where can people get more information? Do you have a website, social media? Has any of that changed? Start with the winery, since that's what we've been talking about. Where can people learn more about North Mountain Vineyard and Winery?
We have a website that's northmountainvineyard.com. And then my daughter, who is also my tasting room manager, has been killing it on our social media. And we've been getting some great feedback of that. And that's on Facebook, Instagram. Those two for now is what we've been really focusing on. And that's where you can find us.
And then if someone wants to know more about Ravenwood Fair, they want to learn more about the foundation, which the Ravenwood Fair raises money for, where should they go for that?
So the foundation is ravenwoodfoundation.org. And then we have Ravenwood Fair with an E. .us, which is the fair website, and that's for vendors, anybody that wants to sign up, or when we're going to be selling tickets as well. You can go there or on the foundation website as well. Either one has the tickets for sale when they become available.
Carrie, you've said it a couple of times, but this is such a cool addition to Shenandoah County.
Oh, Shenandoah County is so excited about this. It's the truth. I'm just like, well, we get a Renaissance fair and a new and vibrant winery experience, and gosh, what more could you ask for?
Jill, thank you for
Absolutely.
inviting Carrie and I out and taking the time to reacclimate us to the winery.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And Carrie, before we go, I'm sure there are things happening in March that people need to know about.
Well, March and even this coming weekend, which is February 27, 28. In fact, we were talking about music that happens at wineries throughout the county. You can find that on our events page. Visit shenandoahcounty.com, go to the events tab. But it looks like on February 28th, we have Jammin' with Tanya, a bluegrass jam, and food truck. Sexy Mexi food truck is going to be here. It's one of my favorites, right here at North Mountain Vineyard.
Yeah,
So,
can't wait.
That makes it nice.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Convenient. So if you want to know about any of the other things that are going on in the county, including information about the things that are happening for the 250th anniversary of our United States, you can check out visitshenandoahcounty.com and go to our events tab.
Thank you for bringing me back out.
Oh, you're so welcome. So glad you could meet me here.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.